Falcons is all over the place, and yeah, just one game off of doing it once more now in Birmingham. And don't you just love the final stages of tournaments when the crazy stuff comes out, when you dig as deep as you can in your hero pools, come up with the creative solutions. Anti-mage offlane for Amar. This is the third game for this hero all tournament, has basically been untouched, but it will be brought out against the Dusa. And I have to say, I don't know if I've seen Amar play this hero before. I know he has, but it's definitely, we talk about this guy and his relatively limited hero pool that he became famous for. I feel like he has expanded massively since the formation of Falcons, and now all of a sudden AM even coming out.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit his MO as strongly as some of these other, I mean, a lot of the heroes he plays are very tanky in your face, and, well, AM's not really that, very evasive maybe, farms a lot, and the offlane obviously you're not going to farm as much, and we'll talk about what kind of item build you want to see in this game versus the Medusa. I mean, of course, we've seen that work out, we've seen it not. It's kind of a 50-50 as it were, as Toby slowed to a very high degree, even a blood grenade being used by Snake King, and Toby, well, he's in a bit of trouble here if they continue on. I'm not sure if Skeeter wants to expend the time. It is a first blood potentially. Has the Stormhammer at the ready. Yeah, he actually just changes it completely. And Toby will just have to TP back. The question is, I mean, he's going to get half HP when he enters this lane. Does have tangos in his stash, so that can be delivered, but you got some coming from 9 class as well.
I think this lane on a theoretical level is already going to be difficult for Toby once again. Last game, they did a very good job shutting down his Kunkka. I think this one might even be worse. The matchup he's facing here, the Sven plus Ench, I think 9 class once again on the Hoodwink. They're running back the exact same lane that they lost quite hard on in game 1. And I think Falcons will be very happy to see that for their Ench Sven lane. This should be a cruise for them. See when Snake King manages to find his first creep. As the big camp is actually open here, quite surprising to me. They let both camps be open. Yeah, great. Some serious trouble here, but Snake King will now already get a Satyr Mindstealer, and this is going to cause major issues up top.
When you're playing a mid-Doom, when can you even go devour a creep? And at what point do you even get devour on a hero?
I mean, there's different ways of playing this. This is something that used to be played way more than it is now. This is not Mallory's first game on the mid-Doom, by the way. He did play it yesterday. Oh, I'm curious. I'm seeing some serious harassment here. I think there is a world where you get multiple points in Devour early and played like really greedy, but I think the way their lineup works, Malrine has to be more of an active playmaker and get involved out on the map. So don't expect him to take many points in Devour early, probably 1-4-1. But yeah, this lane is no fun.
Yeah, pure
Flinks.
No mana whatsoever. Doesn't have, I think he has some mangoes coming out right now, but I mean, 186 HP. Just a couple right clicks from death, essentially, without that mana pool to work with. It has another null and mango on the courier on the way. I mean, with this, how important is this Clinks in terms of creating pressure on the map? And at what point does Thompson start doing exactly that?
I think it's the way Tundra win this game. I think they fully rely on it. As a matter of fact, as Crit will find the first blood onto a Pure.
That is, I mean, that was not even a power shot. Yeah, it was just casual right clicks.
So the reason the Clinks is so important is that I think the other 2 side lanes are just going to be too difficult. I think Tundra will win the other 2. Like the top lane, as we've already covered, the Sven plus Ench should definitely do well against Kunkka and the Hoodwink, and then down bottom we just saw the first blood going the way of AM plus Windranger. So you'd imagine Thompson has to get involved and help them recover around the map. So yes, his rotations will be crucial. Maybe we're looking at level 6 for the first move.
Okay, let me ask you this then, because we have seen, maybe not at this tournament, but in past tournaments, the AM picked as a counter in the off lane versus Medusa.
Yeah.
And obviously that's the main identity of the hero, is to counter Medusa, which obviously so far is doing quite well. But in terms of the hero's identity in the game overall, like in the mid stage, what does the AM accomplish? Or is it literally just for Medusa?
I'm not going to say just, but it's 90% for the Dusa. And you can also see it in his item build, right? He's planning to go Vanguard Diffusal. So literally just be the Amara style of I can go in and I can soak up damage and spells, and then instead of being a Timber Saw that is outputting a lot of damage consistently he will just be trying to make Medusa a non-factor, just jump on her all the time and just be a pest. So that's the plan. They would have not picked this hero against literally anything else. I will promise you that. So
I don't think you buy Vanguard on literally any hero either at this stage. Is Toby? It's a very old school AM item, and then the diffusal, the fact that it actually works in conjunction with the mana burn, not used to be the case.
the double null on Pure as well here.
Malrine gets a very nice ice armor creep, by the way. That should help him survive in this lane. Of course, we can see in terms of CS, he is getting absolutely destroyed. Thompson, kind of expected though, 33-10 versus the 15-0, not remotely close.
I mean, this lane is just flat out unwinnable, right? There's just no way in hell at this level of play that Doom stands a chance here. So obviously a part of the logic here for the side of Falcons, or excuse me, Tundra, with how they set this up. And the question is how Malrine recovers, because this is going to keep happening more and more now that the Clinks is level 5. Every time Malrine tries to go for any CS, he will get hit multiple times by Thompson and take a tar bomb. Now level 6, a full level advantage without a kill in mid is very unusual.
Yep.
5 minutes in.
Oh, is he actually going to dive this? Skeleton Archers keeping Malrine back. And Thompson will be certainly happy with the Doom just being out of XP range. As bottom, a little bit of action. Whitemon with that Astral Spirit does pack a punch if you're not careful from the Falcons' perspective. And they have a good amount of mangoes to work with to make sure that Pure does not find the same fate he did not too long ago. That's one of the benefits of having the Medusa against a Doom, right? You can't heal with Doom, but you just need mana if you're Medusa. As Thompson looking for the rune. It's going to be top.
Yeah, Medusa never cares about healing. She never has anything to heal, so completely pointless. That still doesn't necessarily make her a bad Doom target, though. Like, there's going to be situations where just shutting her out of the fight with the silence is very powerful. But you would imagine that the primary Doom target this game for Malrine is probably the Kunkka, or if you can find the Clinks outside of Skeleton Wall could also be a thing. But yeah, Doom and Kunkka before he gets spells off is massively impactful for teamfight outcomes, so might be what they're planning for later down the line. But yeah, the game looks pretty even right now. Obviously, this is with the that Thompson is crushing mid, so what that translates to is the other two lanes are great for Falcons, obviously. And Skitter, how many games have we seen this guy win with Sven this last year?
Yeah, that's kind of his hero this last year and a half or so. When he was on Tundra back in the day, it was the Naga more so than anything, and now Falcons, definitely the Sven. Thompson did make a transition over, but not able to find any opening that he was happy with. Looks like it'll be the Desolator opener. Do you go Deso and Gleipnir on this hero, like in conjunction, or you just pick one or the other?
Not exactly my forte this hero. I feel like it's rare to see both, though. I'm not gonna say you can't, but as it stands, I guess the Deso is the more straightforward choice against AM, right? Against Sven, it's a little bit double-edged because he also has high armor when Warcry is running, but then I don't know. Can't say with confidence that this is still better than Gleipnir this game, because there is some value to that catch for his team as well, right? Gleipnir sets up ET very well. Yeah. It sets up Kunkka very well. It's good against the Sven for kiting purposes. But maybe his read on the situation is just, I need to output really hardcore damage so that we can create space in the fights that way. Will find himself a nice rune here. Perhaps this is going to lead to Tundra's first kill of the game sometime soon. Very quiet start.
Yeah, for sure. Whitemon leeching a little bit of XP. He's going to run into Amar, and Crit's going to set this up with a shackle shot. And you have to think eventually this will be a kill going the way of Falcons. The slow now coming out from Amar, now the mana is depleted. The second kill on the board for Falcons. And Tundra have yet to make an opener, but Thompson showing up with that damage rune in tow. Snake King is dead. I guess he would have liked a core instead, but they'll take what they can get at this stage. He's about to get his first mithril hammer of the Deso, so really not that far away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As yeah, a lot of stacks here for Falcons. As Malrine going to take a couple of them. Still has that ice armor creep and is opting to go for the Veil of Discord. Thompson showing up as Malrine will be spotted. Still has the damage runes depleting here relatively soon. All right. His spidey senses were tingling and the pig pull came out. 9 class though. Finds crit in the jungle. Thompson, okay, he's going to be spotted. He's going to actually be shackle shot, but he gets the death pact off. Nice amount of HP there. Mar blinks in. No mana at all onto Thompson. And as the mana void comes out, it's just level 1. Doing a decent amount of damage. A beautiful hammer coming in from Skeeter will lead to Thompson's death. Whitemon with the right-click briefcase kills off Amar in tow, and now can get the Echo Stomp in retreat. 9 class attempting the TP, and he will just barely get out.
Pretty good stuff from Tundra there. Making space for Pure, right? This is an AM being involved in the fight and dying. Sure, you're trading your clinks, but I think this is a good outcome for them overall just because of Pure's ability to take 2 to 3 waves for free now. And transitioning into the jungle. Curious to see how Amar is going to play this game overall, right? Like we see him already eyeing up the defusal, but I'm thinking more in like a macro sense of how hungry is he going to be for fights? Is he going to try to always run to the Medusa's lane, or is he going to give her some space once in a while to just farm up his own? Like, because you can try to play more disruptive rather than focusing on yourself. You know, there's some offlane players in the history of this game that have become famous for that. First player that comes to mind, Ice Ice Ice, who was always focusing more on making the carry miserable than making himself happy. And Anti-Mage against Dusa is that kind of matchup where you could literally be like, all right, I'm going to try to predict Medusa's next move and just be there and be a wall and just be annoying. But a lot of the time it will come at the expense of farm efficiency. So keep an eye out for his movements around the map here.
Thompson top net worth right now. And I assume once that Deso comes out, he's just going to be roaming around, trying to pick up those charges for the Deso and upping the aggression overall for Tundra. And from Toby's perspective, as we might actually have some action here, Hoodwink with his first stun and the sharpshooter to follow, and that's an easy cleanup on the Snake King. Whitemon will get credit for that, but now Falcons realizing that Toby might be alone. He's going to get doomed by Malrine. Crit, trying to close the gap, will actually just run away, not able to get the connection. So a stray Doom kind of wasted now.
Yeah, too fast with the phase boots. Just walks it off.
And Toby, in terms of farm, like we were talking about last game, he didn't really get off to the greatest of starts, and this time around it's not better. That far. Yeah, it's much better than last time. It's essentially equivalent to the mid-Doom, right? Which maybe that's not a great sign for Falcons, but like you said, Kunkka doesn't really need to be in this type of role, the top net worth on the team or anything like that. As long as they get the Torrent Storm at a decent pace, they'll be pretty happy. Now some pressure to the tier 1 tower. Tundra
top tower is under attack.
Should be able to get this uncontested now as Thompson shows up.
Toby will actually get the last hit on this, so he will be going for a Blade Mail this time around. Some decent heroes to have it against. The Wind Ranger's a support, so it's not as important, of course, but can be a bit of an X factor against the Sven early on. Can be annoying to deal with for the Doom.
Yeah, Skeleton Walk. Thompson showing up with the Deso reveal. Sharpshooter. I don't think that Earth Splitter did anything, but matters not. Thompson now 2 charges on the Deso. Will apply some pressure to the tier 2 as well.
Yeah, killing Inch is so easy for Clinks when she's broken.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a problem. Getting the first stack on the Deso and still doing some serious damage here. Falcons not really responding very much to Tundra's current aggression. I mean, this is something their lineup also is a little bit lacking in the department of, is teamfight.
Yeah, Malrine shows up, but they know that he doesn't have his ultimate.
They almost got the tower.
Yeah, not very often you see a tower get this low on the tier 2 side.
Oh, 13 minutes in, getting a tier 2 almost. It's quite uncommon in this tournament, at least. And yeah, it kind of feels bad for Falcons that they have to send up Doom here just to stand there. Like if he doesn't TP in, the tower falls, but they also know they can't look for a fight right now because they need to hit some timings first with their items. So lacking in the teamfight department means you're playing off trying to snowball your lanes and then using that early advantage to just stop the enemy team from making aggressive moves. But they didn't really win the lanes that hard.
I mean, a lot of times it would be Amar going into that top lane to tank things up, but he's playing an anti-mage, right? So that's not really a feasible option. As you see, his defusal is just about done. And in terms of the build, like, looks like he's going to be going for Manta after the fact. Do you change, like, is this should become like a regular AM?
Well, he's not going to buy the Battle Fury.
Aside from, the opening item.
But aside from that, it's probably going to be quite similar, yeah. I would imagine he's going to go Manta into either a Scotty route or a Butter or Abyssal. You know, the usual AM stuff, I think. I don't see any reason to... I mean, you could buy Axe against Dusa. It's not bad. But more often than not, I'm kind of just a hater of this item. Maybe I'm underrating it.
You're a hater in general. Topson, he gets the tier 1 tower, but Malrine backstabs him here. Backless shot not going to connect, but
nice last hit from AM. Team fight contribution from AM.
Yep, back to the jungle. Oh, I guess he can't really jungle very effectively without the Battle Fury. Skeeter, God's Strength activated. Echo Stomp will hold him in place, but you have to think the tier 1 will end up going down. 9 class not able to get the bushwhack there to go for the eventual deny. Pure getting forced out of his own triangle, and now taking some aggression. Will have to use a Stone Gaze, using a lot of the mana in the process. Mana Void not quite enough to get the kill. Amar wants to finish this kill, but the Echo Stomp holds him in place, and now the boat is coming for him. Do they have the damage to actually finish the job? No, instead, Pure goes down to Malrine, who backstabs again. Sharpshooter hits him right in the ass. He's getting pretty low himself. Echo Stomp holds him in place. Amar in the tree still. Malrine will be the trade, a 1-for-1. That's not a trade that Tundra are too happy with. Again, the Doom, relatively low net worth, what we're used to seeing from a Malrine mid.
Can't say 9 class without saying ass. And he does hit him right in the ass with that sharpshooter. You're absolutely right about that. Living up to his name. Amar's in a very awkward position here. What are you going to do, buddy?
No teleport.
There's some sort of... there's a lot of time being wasted. Like, you can look at the outcome of this fight and pick your favorite of who actually won that engagement. I don't really know, but Amar just being stuck here for an eternity is definitely a bit of a collateral damage for the side of Falcons.
Oh, Pure. Oh my god, there's no way he would have known. And Pure, okay, there's TP supports coming in, so it's not going to result in a kill, but forcing 2 TPs, be valuable in and of itself. 9 class with a sharpshooter, again, the ass hit.
Nice.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Crit also hiding in the tree line. A lot of shenanigans this game, it feels like, from the Falcons side. 9 class will remove the Watcher.
He's trying to find Crit here still. He's just threw out an Acorn shot.
Oh, meanwhile, bot lane had the boat come out from Toby. Malrine taking the right clicks from Topson. Another death to his name as Crit eventually shows up and, well, just walks away.
They are really trying to just disrupt Pure. It's a very clear... This is what we talked about. Is AM going to take this route? And he clearly is, but it's not only him. It's also Crit just playing around the neighborhood and just being annoying. And it's working out okay so far still. I think Tundra are quite comfortable with the game state. We have to keep in mind the Medusa matchup against AM has a tendency to get really bad later on in the game. Even offlane AMs we've seen from players like XXS, just ultimately you just overwhelm the Medusa too much. So can Tundra keep this going and close the game before that problem becomes insurmountable? Because I guess they will always have the X factor of Clinks against AM. I feel like it's one of the best heroes at assassinating him even late in the game. You have so much single target physical damage and you can really itemize to solve that issue. And I think Topson will have to do that.
Shield room for Topson. Oh, he's actually revealed though. The shackle shot into Skeeter's. God's strength, my goodness. Wrong place, wrong time for Topson. As the chase is on now for Whitemon, who's very quick with those Tranquil Boots. Looks like he'll likely get away just fine. Again, one of those Topson deaths. I mean, that one less impactful than the sniper death by the Arcane Rune.
Yeah, it's not really the metric you want to be measuring yourself against, though. Oh, I died, but at least I didn't instantly lose the game, so it wasn't that bad.
It's something. You got to look on the positive side.
It is the scale. Yeah. Wonderful to hear you being the optimist here.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
I'm coming around, I guess.
Rubbing off on each other. You're becoming more positive and I'm becoming more cynical by the day.
That's right.
It's been a great few years.
Enjoy life.
Yep.
While you can. Very even game, though, here in this second game of the best of 3 of the lower bracket finals here at ESL One Birmingham. And Toby getting relatively close to the Agnum Scepter, so Torrent Storm, 1200 away. The ultimate crowd control.
Yeah.
It's almost like the new age Ravage, Cinder. We don't really see the old Watermelon Boy too often these days. Amar was spotted, but ends up blinking to safety.
Yeah, imagine if Tidehunter's Axe was just making random mini Ravages in like little circles all over. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that's a really interesting design.
Yep.
Almost as interesting as the Tentacle Surprise Impale that he had for a while there. So Amar with the Diffusal, and yeah, the Manta, that's no big surprise. And I was going to say, because you brought it up, I do think he was going to go Ags, and he looks like that is going to be the case. Just the old poke and prod against the Medusa.
Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Ags in general, but I do think there's way more cases where it's good when you're against Medusa. Like many more different game states, like whether you're ahead or behind, it's going to feel much better there. We've seen players on Anti-Mage buy this item almost regardless of circumstance, and that's where I don't agree with it, because I think a lot of the time this hero wants to just be able to get in there and get the kill quick with like an Abyssal. And the Axe playstyle is very different in fights, but yeah, against Dusa, can't say I hate it.
Yep, Ward. Decent amount of vision. Not on the high ground, though.
Oh, did they? Oh, they didn't see him, actually.
No.
They're trying to get their hands on this.
But Pure is going to show himself on the wave now. Little does he know, right above. Oh, he actually pops the Stone Gaze. He's going to get Shackle Shot, but that actually forces Falcons away. Spidey senses again. Good instincts overall. Malrain going to pop that Shiva's going to pop back into the Earth Splitter and the boat. And down goes the Doom as Pure getting really low on mana because of a Mario. Huge mana void! Oh my god! Thompson is dead as a result as well. And Snake King and company are cleaning up pretty nicely. 4th kill to their name, triple for Skeeter. That mana void was filthy.
Yeah, and after all is said and done, was this ward actually a good thing for Tundra? Pure ends
Look
up
at Thompson. Oh my god.
I mean, Pure ends up not dying in the initiation because of this ward, so he gets the Stone Gaze off when he sees them going for the flank, but the ultimate outcome of this is probably worse than just him dying to getting doomed and AM next to his tower.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's just dirty. They have to keep this in mind at all times. What a play from Amar, just jumping into 4 heroes there, seeing Dusa is half on mana and just really committing for it. Skeeter, I don't think this is going to work. Just being a bit of a hassle here. Ninth class will get out.
Haste.
I'll have a BKB very shortly.
Well, this early butter from Dusa is obviously going to make things a lot easier for her against the AM, but still needs to be careful.
All right.
Oh, well.
Malrain, yep, Shiva's giving that extra little vision, and now the easy Doom onto 9 class. Roshan wanted a piece of it, but Malrain not interested. But still, after all this, Falcon's still only a 2K lead. And this is after, how many times, is this the 3rd death now? Yeah, for Pure.
Yeah.
Not exactly, I mean, still 2nd in net worth. That's pretty impressive, actually. I feel like 3 deaths on Medusa at this stage is usually a death sentence.
I mean, you can say what you will about Pure. Also in this series, the guy knows how to farm. Like, he's very, very good at finding farm on the map. Amar.
X onto Amar. Torrent. Boat's coming. Earth Splitter.
Splitter.
Beautiful layering from Tundra.
Very good.
All right, now we can start talking about the old Roshi boy, Mr. Cinderman. Who takes it faster? Who fights better in the pit?
Probably Radiant takes it significantly faster, actually. Just the clinks factor.
I would say they also fight better in the pit area. With you got Earth Splitter, Torrent Storm, Stone Gaze. Not a ton of AoE for Falcons. Very much a single target. Yeah, that's not a great start. It gets off the Stone Gaze, though. Looks like he'll be able to get away safely.
Yeah, and no Amar alive, so Pure feels very safe going for the mid farm, but despite Amar's death, almost could have got him there. But it is a double whammy here for Tundra. They stay alive on their Dusa and push that mid wave out, and they get the Rosh, so essentially completely for free. Skitter also using the God Strength. Will be a little bit of downtime now for Falcon's side. I think Tundra would love to put this Aegis to use sooner rather than later. Don't let Sven get to his next item, which is going to be Daedalus. Just play your man advantage right now with the 6th life. Dusa is obviously ready to fight. The Diffusal is on the way out in just a second for him as well.
All right, drink up, everybody, says the Kobold. Very brief introduction to the Kobold there. It was like somebody in production just misclicked, and they just happened to have Kobold on the screen. So Aegis now on Topson. How much can they get out of this Aegis? How much do they want to get out of this Aegis? There are 3 tier 2s up.
I mean, this top tier 2 has to be on the menu, right? They got this so low like 15 minutes ago almost, or 10 minutes ago. When if you remember when Malrine went to defend that on his own, that was minute 13. So it has been on 400 health for a very long time, and it would be nice for them to open that up a little bit, put some more pressure, but for now, looks like mid is going to be the play. That's where they have the wave. Falcons will grab themselves a free shard for crit. So this is a good one this game. The Gale Force, very nice against Dusa and Clinks. Either forcing them into your team when you want, or using it as a disengage tool when you want to get out of range. That is a wonderful counterplay tool that they just got in their hands.
Oh yeah, take over that illusion. Doesn't do that much though, does it? Pure working on the upgraded Diffusal.
Yep, this item's definitely fallen out of favor. Disperser used to be a very popular item, then it got nerfed heavily, and then it was less popular. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, if you buy a Diffusal, then you're going to upgrade it at some point, of course.
Yeah, generally speaking. I actually don't know if Amar will ever upgrade his. I think there's a world where he just sells it later and gets another item entirely. But we'll see about that. His Manta, almost complete, just needs another 150 gold. That is a very big item timing for him. Gives him a couple of interesting plays. Obviously going on the Medusa and just piling on will be nice, but it also gives him a solution against Hoodwink's Atos. Gives him a way of potentially staying alive just that little bit longer if he gets jumped by Topson. He can also dodge X-Mark combo if he's really clutch. Dodge the Echo Stomp. I guess if you think about it, you can dodge pretty much anything with Manta, so...
Just about.
Easy to come with a list of great uses for this item usually. Oh,
Amar.
He doesn't have it yet.
Yeah,
so...
accident to
Oh, they mistimed it.
But they might still have the damage. The right clicks are fierce from Topson.
That would have been
Torrent Storm just in case.
Yeah, that would have been terrible for Tundra if they missed that kill. Like if you get the X mark, this combo, you need to be able to land that and chain the stuns. But they got it done. End result is the same. Topson, okay, impressive here.
Yeah.
Starting to knock on the high ground. I love this. They have the Aegis. Deuce is ready.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, most of this Aegis has not been used yet for any real purpose, but now they get the tier 2 mid and looks like the tier 3 to follow, but the Gale Force used onto Pure. The BKB popped by Skeeter as well. He's very low on mana. Does get off the Stone Gaze in time though, as the power shot will tickle him on his retreat. Attempting to TP out. He's fine. Kobe as well, so good retreat overall for Tundra.
Yeah.
And
if Malrine
they do get the
there,
tier 3.
If Malrine is there from the beginning, that is a dead Dusa.
Well, they wouldn't have been there if he was there.
I'm surprised to see how much damage Crit and Skeeter were able to do to the Dusa.
Oh, Whitemon showing himself. Topson, though, gonna set this up with that Bushwhack. Malrine has to use his BKB, trying to retreat now. Doesn't use his Doom in the end, as Topson doesn't look like he might get a kill here, but meanwhile, Toby is taken out by Crit on the other side of the map. Instead, it'll be the usage of the Aegis. And we'll see if Tundra want to stick around and fight or not. Falcons.
Great Gale Force.
Snake King, though, did not get hit. And there is the Doom onto Topson. And now that leads to an easy one as Whitemon destroyed. And that just leaves Pure on the Medusa alive for Tundra.
It's a total macro outplay. They kill the Kunkka bottom with AM, and then they make this beautiful rotation. The heroes just from Falcons just doing a really good job at playing around each other And you can understand why Tundra wanted to go for that opening on the Malrine Doom, but he's just too tanky. The Shiva's guard, he's running around with 35 armor, offsetting tons of the damage that Topson is able to output. And will survive and hold the Doom for the second life. As Skitter was coming in. Now Snaking gonna get eyes on Pure.
Courier.
Will lose his courier for it. Interesting situation.
So Malrine ended up changing. I don't know at what point he changed to the War Stomp Centaur creep, but
yeah, he doesn't have the blink.
Yeah,
yet.
he doesn't have the blink, which is interesting that he would get that first. But looks like blink will be next on the menu for him anyway.
I think it's
Mars
one of those.
spotted. Atos. Should be
That's
fine.
that Manta right there. Immediate usage.
He's going to be forced out by Topson now, looking for the high five. No one wants a piece of it though.
So the thing about the Doom taking the Centaur creep, wait a sec, Skitter,
Yeah,
okay,
Skitter,
never
he
mind.
wants to fight. He's going to get Hurricane Pike by Topson, but the Gale Force is there. Whitemon dead. Skitter's BKB is down though. Let's see if Tundra can try to capitalize on this.
I think so.
It doesn't look like they want to fight, as Pure does connect here. Still with the Stone Gaze at the ready.
Where are you going?
Has the Disperser, Butterfly, Manta, and looks like Daedalus is going to be next for the Medusa.
And Malrine's dagger is now only 200 away. And I think he just took the Centaur creep so he doesn't have to worry about finding it later.
Yeah,
right?
trying to find it is a real pain.
Yeah, it's really annoying if you're unlucky and you don't get the right camp. It's like, okay, I'm going to have a minute and a half of essentially a dead creep. It's
or when
very
you
hard
spot
to
it, your carry ends up killing it. There we see the beautiful Kobold. Let's get a shout out from the Birmingham crowd for Mr. Kobold himself. Will he drink the cup?
Come on.
What is even in the cup? It looks quite empty. Oh, yeah! That's the stuff. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. He went for...
What a beast.
We saw someone in the crowd do that yesterday as well, the combo.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he got inspired.
I'm waiting for the buff of the Kobold. That's more than 3 damage. That's one of the coolest models in the game. It needs to be like an ancient creep at this point. Just pours beer on everybody.
Should be able to toss his cup.
Yeah, or that.
It's like a stun. Very creative.
Yep. We call it stun as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Slardar. Good old Slardar.
I do miss those. Doesn't look like this is going to connect on much, at least not initially. As a scan comes out onto the Roche pit, but see that nobody's there. In fact, somebody didn't take their timer, Cinder, and it can't even spawn for 30 seconds.
Well, even then, you still want to start controlling the area.
True.
So
Dire's middle barracks
Falcons know that this is the next play of the game, so they will already be preparing.
Now the scan is
Scans coming out of plenty here, yeah. Falcons spread relatively thin here, so this could be a moment of opportunity for the side of Tundra. If you look at the map placement of the heroes, Tundra very tight.
Falcons all over trying to cut off the other side. The focus is onto Skeeter, but he's going to get a Stormhammer off first into the focus fire. Gets put onto the low ground. The Gale Force is helping out. Thompson's just stuck here. Looks like he might be able to trickle away. Yes, he finds the move speed, and Skeeter gets a courier in the midst of all this. As the Doom comes out onto the Kunkka, the Torrent was cast first, though. Malrine will die as Amar looking for more. Skeeter can't get the clinks in the end as Whitemon will die to Snake King's impetus. And 9 Classic Company trying to retreat, but that damage from Skeeter is overwhelming. Stormhammer to follow. Toby's dead as well. 3 down for Tundra. Started out as a good potential fight for Tundra, but Topson just got stuck in a corner. He did end up making it out alive, but just a really awkward engagement overall.
Yeah, it's also just not it's not the ideal way for this to start, right? Like Topson pops out and does a single target damage, but didn't really get a full combo on the opener, and they get the BKB off on Doom, and things just get awkward really fast, kind of falling into a similar situation to last game where there's this tanky frontline hero that they're running into. They can't really burst it, but they kind of have to do something about it. And without enough damage in the tank, Malrine, yeah, sure, he ends up dying in the end, but gets everything off and provides that vision that we've kind of talked to death with about this Falcons team. Just so good at getting that vision in the fights. Should mention as well about Skitter not going Ags is quite unusual for him on the Sven. I wonder what the rationale is here, because almost every game we've seen of them playing Sven in the last 3 months, Skitter has had Ags in as part of the build-up. This time he's not even buying it, even 5th item.
Yeah.
Just completely bypassing it, feeling like with the dagger he has enough of an ability to connect on the targets he needs to find. and rather just get that raw mega damage output early on with a very fast Daedalus instead.
And he's waiting for that Ags on the Rosh, of course. He's sick and tired of the Mirana getting it like last time. What a waste.
Do you think Soxa would have destroyed that Ags that game?
Perhaps. Acorn shot. Bushwhack actually does hit. Toby with the Torrent. Gale Force.
Good damage.
Making it pretty awkward for Pure, and they force out the BKB. So the X not going to do much, but now the BKB down. Let's see if Tundra can do something with that as Thompson approaching from the north. This Astral Spirit is so insane in these types of situations. Round number 1 for Whitemont.
Radiant are scanning.
It's Malrine and Amar here, looking to potentially retreat. His pathway is blocked off by Thompson. Atos now. The damage done to Malrine, but here comes Skeeter trying to focus on the Clinks, but can't get into arm's length. Now the Stone Gaze comes off. You can see the Halberd used now onto the Medusa. Can't do much, but Whitemont destroys Amar with the Earth Splitter, and now Tundra with the advantage in a 5 versus 4. Snake King, they're kind of ignoring him. Skeeter trying to come in for a last backstab here. He only gets Whitemont and dies to Pure. And now Snake King attempting the TP behind the trees, but that's not going to be, as Tundra with a 3-for-1. Huge fight for them, being able to take out Amar at the early stages of this fight.
If they can, Pure. Might want to take the gate on the left side, buddy. Gets bashed up, but he'll be on time. They have plenty of time to get this Rosh. Skater going for that second kill is just batshit crazy to me. I think that was ridiculous to even try that, but yeah, finding the kill on Amar is what really broke that fight wide open. Despite having these tankiness items, he has the Manta, the Halberd, and the Vanguard. They still pierce through it and get him down, and as soon as the Anti-Mage is down, Medusa has a totally free fight. Pure is not going to be scared of anything, and he can just walk around and do what he wants, and this is huge. The game was looking very Falcons' favor. Now we're back to even, and Medusa with a very, very big gap now down to the Sven, which is a heavily Medusa-favored matchup. It's why we're running this AM on the Falcon side, but if Amar can get taken out like that, I favor Tundra heavily in any fight that AM is dead in.
And he used it in that fight, but we should mention that Amar did opt to not go Ags yet. He went for the Halberd first.
Yeah, great item.
Switched it up at the last moment. Thompson finds crit. Burning Barrage not nearly enough with that win run. And Pure, then looks like they really wanted to finish him, but no connection there. They do have the creep wave coming in, so the tier 2 tower might be on the menu for Tundra. That Aegis and Cheese ready to go. And this will be the last outer tower for Tundra to go through. And of course, remember the tier 4 or the tier 3 was taken out in the mid lane, so the barracks are exposed.
It's just all this is going to take for Tundra is one good fight, and they might just end it. Skitter's also committing. He's bought out. His bank is empty. He broke the piggy bank now to get the Satanic.
A little Tormy steal action.
Yep, they're feeling themselves. They have this Aegis advantage, so take
sure they want the Toby if they can get it.
9+ is not bad.
Got the old boomerang. But yeah, the tidal wave's insane. A little bit surprised. I mean, I guess he's going for the refresher for the double Torrent Storm, but tidal wave to counteract maybe the Gale Force.
True. Could be a bit of a pseudo counter. Doesn't seem to be the plan though.
No,
just want
refresher too good.
Too many water parks to make. Swift Blink complete now for Pure. This is close to full inventory. Obviously, he still has Shard and Scepter to go, but I guess he could think about replacing the Treads for something else now that he has Swift Blink, but that's pretty much it. Wonder what his item of choice is going to be.
Mindbreaker for Thompson. This is insanely good on Clinks.
Yep.
Just to get that opening silence. 2 seconds of free reign or forcing a BKB of some kind.
It allows him to potentially kill crit out of Invis, right? He gets the first hit off before crit uses Wind Run. He can just get burst.
That is a good one. That is a good one. As there's a fly really bothering Tundra Falcons right now. Need a fly swatter. Somebody get Slacks in there.
I think they have enough to deal with one pest.
Maybe that's what all the pauses were the other day when they say bugged. Maybe they literally mean there's a bug.
This slacks. Just keeps going into the booth. Level 25 on Dusa.
Oh yeah.
Split shot uses modifiers.
Not too shabby.
Huge DPS upgrade for Pure. The standard talent you take almost every single time. The Mana Shield can be interesting in some niche situations, but yeah, split shot one is just too good.
But he is just fully stacked. I mean, backpacking the butterfly right now for the Aegis.
Yeah, just so he can have this damage rune, as you like to call it, in his bottle.
I do like to call it that.
Oh, can we just mouse over the bottle real quick here on the Medusa? Do you see what this says there? It says rune double damage.
That's right.
That's right.
Unplayable. Restart the game.
They never fixed it.
Oh,
Shit.
initiation. Nice force stats though as Whitemon's caught off guard. That's going to be an easy kill for Falcons to start things out. Now Gale Force used on the 9 class. Looks like they'll get both supports in all likelihood. Impetus. No, not quite enough. But Malrine with the Havoc Hammer finish. Nice pick off there for Falcons.
Yeah, 2 supports, it's something. But most importantly, for this, they just... Tundra miss a potential timing, right? Aegis is going to run out. They didn't get to put it to any use. Kind of surprised they maybe didn't actually try to force it down mid with 5 heroes with that Aegis. But respecting Falcon's defenses, Thompson will be on the run here. Hiking away Malrine. Big damage.
Yeah, BKB comes out. He's going to die to the right clicks very casually. And now the TP out. Like, excuse me, what was the point of that?
That was bizarre.
Hurricane Pike, pretty damn good in that scenario.
He's getting killed by like 7 skeletons, and he just kept running through the fire to get off a Doom that he didn't even have backup for. Toby now on the receiving end.
Completely
all his
out of mana. And keep in mind, getting that Bloodstone means that the Mana Void, if he wants to go on that target, actually will hurt a lot on Toby.
Yeah, it's a secondary target aside from the Dusa. They actually have comparable mana pools now. Dusa with a 1900, Kunkka with a 15.
Well, in his death, Malrine able to finish the Octarine core. Amar, ooh.
Good read.
Yeah.
I think he might have seen a glimpse of someone on that ward, actually. Above him.
God Strength activated. Pure already out of mana. Oh my God! He's deleted, and now the Gale Force again used onto both supports. Mana Void to cancel the TP of Whitemon. Havoc Hammer into the right click. 9 class will be the 3rd casualty for Tundra. Medusa does not look tanky at all when AM is able to right-click there.
Skitter jumps in and 3-shots him. Nice carry diff. Pure. The MKB reveal just completely obliterating him. Not enough in the tank. And it was very clear Tundra were not ready for this to even be a possibility. Like, that caught them completely off guard, the entire team. And once again, now we're back to the conversation we were just having. Begs the question, why did you not push with the Aegis? That's when this could have been avoided.
Yeah.
But now that Dusa is down to 1 life, Skitter, no hesitation. I actually can't believe he killed him that fast.
Ooh, Gleipnir actually finds his target. Thompson has to TP. He'll be fine. Really fast play from Falcons there, I have to say. Skeeter able to blink out of the X-Boat.
I wonder in that kill on the Dusa how much mana crit burnt from him, because he's got... We need to start thinking about this Windranger as a 4th core here as well, right? He's got Diffusal, Gleipnir, and Pike.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And if he gets enough Focus Fire attacks through with this Diffusal Blade, it is making a really big difference for the kill speed. I still felt like Skitter did 80% of the work there at least, but it adds up.
Tier 2 tower bot is dead. Malrine gonna get Echo Stomped. Bushwhack to follow. Earth Splitter not gonna connect. Force Staff was there from, and the BKB, but Whitemon, again, just Skeeter showing how much damage he can output in such a short amount of time, and showing why that this is a hero that they have picked many a time this year, and many tournament victories, tournament championships rather, off the back of that, Sven.
Wonder what he's going next. The Ag slot is still available. He could buy it if he still fancies it.
Upgraded Blink, perhaps?
Upgrade his Blink is probably first. I think maybe he even, I don't know, do you buy the Moon Shard over the Ags in this game based on how he's played so far? Perhaps. Nope, he's queuing it up.
Okay.
The Aghanim's Blessing is next on the menu. 5,800 gold for that bad boy. He's got 5,700. Let's see if he once again doesn't save for buyback and just goes for it, or he'll be a little bit more cautious this time around.
Yeah. Before you mentioned, didn't realize that crit had really caught up on the farm.
Ah, yes, my favorite anti-mage item. We were talking about AM going standard build. Octarine Core now.
Yeah, very normal. Thompson is focus fired. They have the vision. He's going to pop the cheese. Focus fire's still on him, and now the Stone Gaze has to be used. And that's a position for forcing. Oh, my.
Oh, wait, no,
And they're not done yet. Falcons continuing their approach. The Tundra in the cover of the smoke will back away. And you can see Pierre what he's opting for next. And I mean, I feel like he's not really right-clicking that much. Because when he's initiated on, he just dies.
Yep.
There doesn't seem to really be much of a response here from Tundra in those scenarios.
And Amar with his Octarine build can just throw in blink fragments way more frequently, right? I thought we were going to see him go a little bit more like we talked about, maybe more traditional items, but he feels confident that his team has enough damage and he has no reason to worry based on what we've just seen.
Yeah.
The Wind Ranger and the Sven are absolutely destroying Medusa, so he can go full utility route.
Skeeter with the Aegis. Refresher Shard was there as well as Malrine. He's spotted. Pops the BKB, but to no avail.
Got a gem. 9 class will
Indeed.
hoodwink in and grab that, and hoodwink out again.
Gold from my chest.
A good pickoff for Tundra. They're going to need a little bit more of that, as they have found themselves in a 9K deficit. So the animation for that is so weird.
Yeah.
It's the same animation as the blink. Yep. They didn't really add it. I guess that's part of the point. You don't want them to know.
Amar
This
just
looks
pushed out
very
the wave
strange.
with 3 blink fragments. Very low commitment way of pushing. And now we saw Tundra not really put their Aegis to use. Let's see Falcons if they're going to take a similar approach. Obviously going to be waiting for Malrine to respawn, but I kind of have a feeling that Falcons are not going to sit back as much. Want to do something aggressive with it.
Thompson not quite fully upgraded on the Desolator. A few more charges to go. Snake King is going to show himself here. The Astral Step does hit. Bushwhack to fall. Look at the damage onto the tier 3 tower from afar. But Skeeter wants to fight. God Strength already used. Pure with the Stone Gaze. Will force Skeeter and company back. The Torrent Storm keeping more at back actually. Skeeter getting really low. Gale Mana Void deletes Pure and Whitemon from the face of the earth. And now Thompson and company probably will have to try and fight this out. But Toby already out of mana as Skeeter continues to just beat upon him now with the help of the Shackle Shot. Thompson destroyed on the back line as well. 4 dead. They don't even lose Aegis in this encounter. Falcons just perhaps putting themselves in a position that leads them to this grand finals today.
Skater is playing an insane game, with except the one jump he had around the Roche pit where he went in and traded his life to kill a support. Everything else can't really put a finger on it. Just so confident in his moves and his reads of how fights are going to play out. He's just setting his team up for success as a Sven. Sometimes we've seen, like we talked about with the Ags, like maybe you're like a follow-up hero, the fight develops, then you get in for an assassination. In this game, it's just full-on leading the charge every single time, and he keeps finding success. This Dusa counter pick against the Sven has, I think it's just fair to say, has not worked. It's looked like a Sven-favored matchup, which I can tell you it isn't, but
Yeah.
Skitter making it look easy, and this could be the first lane of Barracks.
Already up again. That is the Barracks for the bot lane in Falcon's favor. Now they go to the mid, and I don't see what's stopping them right now. Even a BKB will be purchased by the position for Wind Ranger crit. 10 seconds on the cooldown here for Thompson to show up. They're going to focus fire the melee racks, try to get this and run potentially. Now They're going to back away for the time being, playing it very disciplined here, knowing that if they just win one more fight, it likely is game.
Yep. And they have ways of winning this fight. They still have the...
Oh, dear.
All right, this is going to help. Malrine also has the refresher shard from the Roche still, so that will also be nice. Hasn't really... Honestly, it hasn't really felt like Malrine has had to do that much this game, except just go in and soak up spells, cast an occasional Doom, but it's been...
Yeah, it hasn't really felt like a mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, obviously by design, he also isn't meant to play this exactly like a mid laner, but I think everybody else in his team has played such a stellar game that he doesn't... And that's not to say he's played poorly, by the way. I think it's by design. A lot of his deaths are he is going in, he's making space. But I think it's maybe been a little bit easier for him than it could have been. All right. Step one for the epic Tundra comeback.
Yes?
Thompson will have more damage.
Yes, that is to say the least. As the God Strength activated again, Skeeter will get the melee for free.
Forced on the range barracks.
Yep.
All right.
Very normal things from a Sven. Now Falcons backing away. More shards coming out as pure. God, how annoying is that? Well, the Aegis is about to expire, so that's the main reason the Falcons have backed away. And obviously with the God Strength now on cooldown, want to just chill out a bit. But Tundra and company have a long list of things they need to accomplish in order to get this back on track. There is a tier 2 top still, so can't go for the mega creeps as of yet for Falcons, but have to assume that that is the next objective for them, that tier 3, or tier 2 I should say. As Pure is going for the Scotty, and that will likely be his final item, because that's probably a BKB usage into swap item kind of deal, so 7 slotted essentially.
Yeah. I don't know what else he can replace, really.
I mean, based on how these are going, there was a time where AM was picked more commonly as a position 1 counter to the Medusa, and Medusas would opt to not go stat items at all because the Mana Void would just hurt so bad.
Yeah, the meta at that time was actually quite interesting in that matchup, where the Medusa would, a lot of the times, just try to get Manta, Butterfly, Aegis, and then end the game. But in the pacing that Dota has right now, I think the AM is a much, much stronger and more reliable counter to Dusa than it was back then, because hitting that perfect timing on Dusa is so much harder. So a lot of the time, AM will get into the right situation and bring a victory home for his team. So Ench now, with an AC on snaking, offering so much attack speed for Skitter.
Yeah.
With the Solar Crest, with the AC, they just have everything they would want on the side of Falcons. Crit with the BKB, 9-seconder still to be used. He is working on an Ags. He's level 25 on the Wind Ranger as well now.
25 finally achieved for Thompson. I was actually going to ask you what you think he was going to take. He took the 9-second strafe cooldown reduction. Made a Tarbon multi-shot with Divine, though. He has shown it now in that wave earlier. As Malrine TP's out. This is a very scary time. Tundra absolutely has to win this next fight. Down 32k. Now we're going to see an Arcane Rune picked up. As we hear Cause in the audience.
Oh, I wasn't sure if they were mimicking Falcons or if they were playing with the balloon. Like, I actually don't know. There's a lot of things you can cheer for.
And Falcons playing this very, very slow, knowing that Roche will be on the menu relatively shortly. Question is, what time range will it be? I mean, is this something Tundra has to defend, like has to actually try to go for, or do you think this is just a high ground defense game?
I think it might just be high ground. I think taking the fight outside of base now is just too difficult. Falcons have so many ways of one-upping you in the fight, so usually I would be a big proponent of fighting here. because the push will be too hard to deal with, but I actually think in this case it's best to just let them have it for free and then look for some sort of ridiculous high ground defense where you use your rapier and just get in there with the right heroes and kill. Ideally, you kill the, I want to say Sven now. It doesn't even feel like Medusa's fights are safe if AM dies first, right? The Wind Ranger is a problem. The Sven has proven to be a problem for sure. So, going to be some really tricky target selection for the side of Tundra.
Malorine finally showing on the wave here, but
it looks like they will contest.
All a wait for the old Roche. It's still about a minute away for that, as we're going to have the smoke break. Whitemon gets some vision thanks to the Ashen Spear. Okay, he's going to get doomed right off the bat, and there is Superman time for Skeeter, deleting Whitemon off the face of the earth. He takes considerable damage, though, but now forced staff to safety. Pure already using the Stone Gaze. Now Malorine really deep in, gets the second doom. This time it is on the Kunkka. He gets Gale Force into the right clicks as well as Malorine just melting, but Pure basically out of mana now. Manaboy comes in again from Amar. Pure is dead. Thompson attempting the TP, just barely. Back to Fountain he goes. They get the spend, they get the doom, but it is at considerable cost for Tundra.
It is. That was pretty much perfectly played by Toby, right? He used the X mark just so that the Sven BKB would be expiring when the pullback came in. They do find that kill with their Clinks and was starting to look a little bit promising, but even killing Sven. See, here's the problem. You need to kill Sven and AM to protect your Dusa. One or the other is not enough anymore.
Thompson is going to get Gale Force, able to find the move speed though. That Divine is something to be very scared of. Lamar will actually dust in. He's going very deep. Okay.
He forced 2 buybacks with that play.
That is pretty good value. That's good value, I would say. 1 blink, 2 buybacks.
Wow, they got so psyched out by that. Feeling like they had to protect Thompson from the AM. That was a 3-on-3, and he just blinks in completely alone, and they bought back 2? I think that was completely unnecessary, but... Well, now that you've done this, you better turn it into something, Tundra.
Yeah, they are in a really rough position. 36K deficit now. That's Tundra. Okay, I mean, they do have the Rapier.
Yeah, this is fast.
They're going to be spotted by the power shot. Looks like they will be able to get the Roche. Echo Stomp, not able to really fully connect, and there's the Aegis for Pure. A lot of goodies on there. There's an Aghanim Scepter as well. We'll have to see who takes that maybe after this fight, if there even is an after this fight.
Oh,
Focus fire. Thompson is found! The Divine Rapier on the deck! He buys back! We'll see who picks it up, though. As Stone Gaze used from Pure, a lot of havoc, though, coming out from this Taurus Storm. Crit takes the tumble. Whitemon on the retreat. Snake King. Oh, Malorine actually missing the hoof stomp. Thompson coming back without the Divine Rapier, still doing considerable amount of damage. The Mana Boy comes in. Toby is dead on the sideline. Amar pops his Refresher. Is silenced for the time being. Whitemon finally gets off his Earth Splitter. Not doing much with it, though. Will pop the cheese, it looks like, to get to full HP, and Pure, remember, has that Aegis in tow. Stormhammer is there from the Sven. Down goes the Aegis. Mana Void again. This time almost Whitemon with a sliver of HP. 1 right click will finish him off. Now Pure basically in a 1 versus 5. He's doomed up. He's destroyed. That should be it, as Go Home is exclaimed from Amar. And Falcons will be going to the grand finals here.